Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Welcome back, everybody. It's your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Moni.
What's up?
Ooh, you know.
I do know.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. We're back, you guys. Welcome. We're excited to be back for another fun episode, of course. And we got a little bit of news for you guys. I don't know if you guys were gearing up for a book we may or may not be reading this week. If you're a listener, we did announce a book that we won't be covering, which I forgot the name of, friend.
Nobody's Girl.
Thank you.
By Virginia Giuffre.
Giuffre.
And
What happened?
it was really Kat's bad. I'll take full accountability. I didn't check to see if it was out yet. I just
saw. I was like, yes.
I don't know. The algorithm brought it to me, and I just assumed it was available, and that's on me. So, because when I went to get it, it was like, nope.
Sorry. But what's nice is that we have something to look forward to. So we do still plan
Kinda. I wasn't really looking for. I think it's important to read, but I have a feeling I'm not going to actually enjoy reading it.
Well, we're gonna read it anyway.
We are.
And if nothing else, that's one more book on our bucket that we can check off. So
yeah,
we'll get one step closer. But yeah, we are gonna be reviewing that book. But we just decided it's time. There's so much in pop culture right now and in the news, not even pop culture, but the news, that we just felt like, maybe we should just take a pause and talk about what all is going on.
Yeah, basically what happened this week in the news. So what's a responsible way of saying, we'll just say it, like a political influencer, Charlie Kirk, was publicly assassinated this week, and it's rocked the nation.
Yes,
I would say.
Yes.
And it's interesting because it's a lot of intersections of influencer culture, because I know there's a lot of people in my life who were not aware of this person at all.
Right.
So it's always interesting. It kind of reminds me of when the OJ thing happened, because when OJ and the OJ trial started, I had no idea who he was.
Right. It's like, who is this man?
Right. So I'm just going in.
Sorry to this man.
Celebrity aspect of it didn't really affect me because I didn't see him as a celebrity.
Right.
So it was kind of like, if he did, I don't care.
Yeah. How that does kind of weigh into public opinion when it comes to, what you think is fair and right, or even just how everything plays out. So yeah, definitely. So, and then that kind of gets us into a lot of intersectional things that are going on right now. So we want to touch on a few things, but that's going to kick us off. And then hopefully we can end it with something kind of upbeat, because this is sort of a bummer, but...
we've been talking about it before we hit record, and we've been able to maintain a certain level of levity.
Listen, I think that's what we do very well. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you guys are into it this week. If not, probably maybe check in next week, okay? If you don't want to hear about this. Yeah. Check in next week, guys. We'll be back.
Because I took a break from social media yesterday to... I checked in just to check my DMs, but other than that...
Is anything going down in the DMs?
Oh,
I'm just kidding. See, levity.
Levity.
See?
It's just, that's pretty much like it'll say business chat. So it's like professional. Of
course.
But I wasn't really trying to engage with too much, because I know this is ultimately what how rage bait works. And I'm not a big fan of rage bait.
Yeah. It's exhausting, really.
Yeah.
So
I had to make dinner.
Yeah, and it's okay. We'll get into it, guys. Y'all know, y'all see what's happening here. We're gonna get into some of the headlines and stuff like that are going on right now. So before we get into everything, guys, let's take a deep cleansing breath, put our hands over our hearts, and dedicate this episode. All right. So first and foremost, we want to give a special shout out to our patrons this and every week. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We love you. We appreciate you. And then also, I have to dedicate this episode to my Big Ma. I was sent a video clip from the 1900s of my grandma that I literally never have seen in my life. I guess my dad was he's fixing up her old house, going through everything, and found some old VHS tapes, which for the children, a VHS tape is a device you put into another device that reads it. It's like a giant tape, but it's like a videotape.
What's a tape?
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But it allows you to see images, okay? It's kind of like your phone, just old. And this video was like a snapshot of her, like, I think my older brother had just graduated from high school, so she gives each and every, like, my brothers and I, like, a direct shout out. And it was like seeing her, hearing her voice, dead. Died, instant tears. Like, I watched it, I don't even know how many times. It was so beautiful. So thanks to my dad for finding it. I'm glad that we recorded that. I'm glad we had that. It was just the best gift for me because this was a crazy week, and it was just like this little oasis in the middle of all this craziness going on. So just being able to feel like reconnecting with her energy was really dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what about you, friend?
Yes, and oh man, to the ancestors, we're gonna need their help in the upcoming era. My dedication this week is gonna pale in comparison. I'm Futurama, the cartoon, the humorous cartoon with the space aliens.
Okay.
New season starting next week. And I'm pretty darn excited about it, especially because my other little sci-fi show just finished up yesterday, and Foundation on Apple Plus. Oh, it was a doozy. Oh, it was so dedication to that too. Okay. And now dedication over. I love my sci-fi. But here's the thing, because I feel like it ties into current events. Like,
it does. Can I do a quick little side dedication real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
even kick the movie back up. Or music.
No, that's too much editing. This is fine. This is like you don't have to do that, friend. I just want to say before we get into this content, we're talking about a lot of triggering things maybe. So just keep that in mind. But I do want to do a special shout out to the victims of gun violence in general, but specifically to the kids at Evergreen High School, I think it was.
In Colorado?
Colorado, yeah. They got shot. They kind of got overshadowed with all of the Charlie Kirk stuff that went on. You didn't hear a lot about it. So shout out to them, their families, as they are grieving their loved ones as well, which we'll come back to that. But I just wanted to say that top of the show too. But yes, go ahead. The segue.
Well, because a big part of why I am obsessed with Apple TV's Foundation, based on the works of Isaac Asimov, is this idea that you can weaponize history because human beings fall into these predictable patterns. So we're seeing it now with political violence and this, like, this side, that side sort of
tribalism,
stuff,
if you will.
Yeah, and it's crazy because in this show, like, this is like the iRobot universe, and so the robots are like trying to help, and
the people,
human beings, and the robots just like, it's like you guys want to go extinct. Like, she's just trying so hard, and
I'm always baffled by why aliens, robots, other sentient beings that are whatever want to help humans so bad. Like, I'm always so curious. We talk about how Q used to blow
the
us all
robots
up.
were programmed that way, so they really didn't have even a choice in the matter.
So they weren't like
they're
aware.
Programmed for help. This was okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to nerd just a little.
We're gonna need this probably, guys, because it's all right. Go ahead, nerd out. Do it.
Okay, so in the iRobot universe, there's the 3 laws of robotics, which are like, you can't allow a human being to come to harm through action or inaction, but you have to listen to what human beings say as long as it doesn't interfere with the first law, and then you can't let any harm come to yourself as long as that doesn't interfere with the first 2 laws. But then one of the robots came up with the 0th law, which was you can harm a human being if it's better for the larger humanity. But that opens up a whole, it made robots have to shut down because that's when you have to, it's very hard to decide what is the best route.
It's
for
like the trolley
humanity.
question.
It's this whole thing of like, is it worth letting this certain amount of, and that was what that's why I love the show. It's some big thoughts, and once again, this was stuff that was written in like the 60s originally. He's already talking about like artificial intelligence and what does that mean for the future of humanity. And it'd kind of be interesting to see what even ChatGPT would have to say about like the Charlie Kirk. Because here's the thing. Here's what, as soon as I heard about it, because my daughter was the one who told me about it, right?
So let's pretend like maybe there's someone listening who
doesn't know who Charlie Kirk is.
There.
Yeah,
maybe.
because I really feel like if it wasn't for my daughter, I wouldn't know who he was, because he's just not in my algorithm.
Do I have anything about this man? I mean, basically... Hold on, let's see, because I have the victim there. Let's see.
I would say
give him too
he
much,
is a right-wing political influencer, like big fan of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a big fan of his. Although he was very vocal about we need to see the Epstein files. He was a vocal opinion of that. Okay, here's a completely unsubstantiated theory that Kat has.
About what?
The shooting.
But can we... Before we go to what that is, let's go in order, friend. I like linear
structure.
Yeah, all over the place.
Okay.
So we know he's this influencer. So it says he was an American conservative political activist, author, and media personality. He co-founded the organization Turning Point USA in 2012 and was its executive director. He was the chief executive officer of Turning Point Action Member, Council for National Policy. So we have all of this. And what he's most known for, I think, because you were saying, like, a lot of times the young kids know who he is. He shows up on college campuses and
he's like, debate me.
And he does this on social media too. So, like, he's literally known for baiting people in these controversial conversations and air quotes debating. A lot of the time, no, he's straw manning. He's avoiding
Actually, I could pull up a clip right here. I don't mind doing that. I could put up a
There's
little
so
clip.
many. Good luck.
Do you think that there should be free school lunch for all children?
No.
Why?
Of course not. Because parents should feed their kids, not the government.
What if they can't?
Go get a job.
A child? You
No,
want
the
child?
parents should go get the job.
Yeah.
This is important.
They,
I don't believe...
they have jobs and they can't support their children there because the minimum wage is so low.
No, you are a dumb dude. Don't give me this stuff. First of all, this is really...
I want children to eat?
Of course I do. Show me a single child in America going hungry. Doesn't exist. Number two, we have churches, we have food shelters, we have billions, and it does not exist. We have a child obesity problem, not a child starvation problem in this country.
That's the type of guy he was.
So to me, I've always found it irritating and disingenuous. Like, I don't feel like that's how we move conversations forward, like what he was doing.
Okay, agreed.
So I wasn't a
don't think so
fan.
either. Okay.
Once
Very
again,
polarizing.
I want to make this very, very clear, like everybody's doing. I do not like violence. Like, that's one of the reasons I'm not a MAGA girl. I don't like the amount of violence that comes out of a lot of that rhetoric. So I'm not a big fan of guns. I just consider them murder machines. And the reason I don't like them is because it's such a final solution, because this isn't how we reconcile. Like, it's so terrible and ugly. That's the thing. Like, if I was writing a political thriller and I wrote this in my book, my editor would tell me to take that out.
It's like, girl, come on.
This is a little too on the nose. Like, right after he says something slick about it, then the bullet just pierces his neck.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I don't know this for sure because I don't know this man.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of what he's doing was a shtick, kind of like Rush Limbaugh. You know what I mean? Like, you probably are. I mean, you probably are a white supremacist, but I mean,
you're getting notoriety. You're getting, and from what I understand, hold up.
He kind of said, one of his famous things he said was that Martin Luther King Jr. was a terrible person.
He did, and what's interesting is that they're using Martin Luther King right now to eulogize this man. And he straight up said he didn't care for him. So I did
and that the
find
civil
some
rights
quotes of him.
movement was a mistake.
All of
he
that,
thinks
yeah.
that empathy is useless, and
he thinks it's made up. He said it was made up.
Another fun thing too was, out of his own mouth, a couple of gun deaths a year are worth it to have the Second Amendment.
It's the price that we pay for our liberty. So,
I mean, walk it like you talk it.
Well, and the fact that he was backed, so it says he's backed by a network of influential conservative financiers and political figures, most notably Donald Trump, like you had already said. But I mean, who are these? Donors such as the Foster Freeze and DeVos, and I don't even know what this one is, Yuling families. His work, yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, it's like, it seems like he probably already had a battery in his back, but you're going to be kind of like, if people are rewarding me for this sort of behavior, and especially because we're in a culture right now that rewards infamy. You know what I'm saying? More so.
And polarization. It's like the rage bait. You want people to be like,
you just, so it's so marketable, and it's so far reaching. Like, you're gonna get so many clicks on this kind of stuff. So I think that's part of it too. But I think, to your point, the question people are asking is like, okay, so this man is at this college. He is doing a speech. He's talking literally about gun violence. Specifically, he was addressing trans people in mass shootings. Really? So this is what
I'm sorry, I'm choking on the irony.
Yeah. And then it started going into gang violence, and then right when he's saying that's when he got shot. But I was just like, okay, so also recently he was talking about the fact that there should be public executions, and they should be live, and they should be televised.
Like lynchings.
And how old should you be able to be to see something like that? And I'm just thinking like, well, now, because you're so gung-ho about something like that, you literally are the poster child for all this shit that you were talking about. And guess who had to see that crazy shit? Your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the most horrifying thing. Like, when I think about the fact that, like, his kids had to see him murdered, like, of course his kids don't think he's an asshole.
No.
They love their dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting I wonder, like, if he could come out of the grave and look down and look at his kids, would he say, hey, guys, it's fine. Like, this was worth our Second Amendment rights for me not to be able to raise you.
I don't think he ever saw this as an actual possibility. And I think that's
the problem.
One of the things that's sort of irritating me a little bit about some of the rhetoric is everyone just calm down. It's like, actually, I think we've been calm enough.
Depends on who you're asking to fucking calm down, though.
Yeah,
if you're asking me.
Yeah, this whole idea of we're clutching our pearls when it happens to Charlie, and to me, the reason I've always been very adamant about gun control is because of the people who disproportionately get hurt by gun violence, which are children and women for the most part. And so when it happens to an affluent white male in broad daylight, kind of like with Brian and Luigi and stuff like that, there's this whole different sort of media reaction. And I don't exactly, because it's like, I don't like seeing anyone get shot, but it's this idea of like, it's especially heinous when it happens to Charlie or Brian.
Yeah.
And to me, it's not. It's just as sad as when it happens to those precious babies in Colorado, to, children who find unsecured firearms in their homes, like my own friends and family who've been shot to death. Like, to me, it's incredibly sad when they had families. You know what I mean? They didn't deserve to see that. And to me, it's you. This man was also vocally an enemy to me, my daughter, your children, like anything
all
that
of our children,
all of our children's futures.
Yeah.
And in reality, you should be relieved when your enemies die. Quite honestly, I feel that way, because this idea of like, this sort of fake, to me it would be fake, because I actually did have to have a conversation. And someone was telling me, it's like, I feel bad because I actually kind of feel a sort of relief hearing that he died. I'm like, I felt the same way when Rush Limbaugh died, because I feel like he's kind of like this generation's Rush Limbaugh. And it's this whole thing of like, that ugliness is still going to persist because
anyway.
He spread it out, but I'm very relieved that he's not able to do that anymore. Can I feel that relief? Because I feel like everyone's trying to temper everyone's response to this, and it's like, if your honest reaction is relief, I think that's logical. Like, there is a logic in seeing an obstacle fall, and I don't like the way it fell, but when and for a lot of the people who are saying this, like, well, you have to look at this, he wasn't talking about your families. You know what I mean? Like, if this was someone who was directly threatening like your ability to live and breathe, like, then you would have a different reaction to it. I don't care what you say. Like, because it's threatening me and us, then we're being told like, hey, it reminds me so much of Octavia Butler and her stuff, where there's this idea of like when Black people, when we just even defend ourselves.
It's right. It's like, well, hold on now.
Yeah, like now it's violence.
You're not just getting, right, you're not just laying down and getting your ass
And once
beat.
again, not calling for this. Like ultimately, the reason I didn't like Charlie Kirk was because he was so quick to talk this mess and really thought nothing could happen to him.
But here's what's interesting too, though, because you hear from the other side of the aisle a lot of the time. So like we will see rappers and stuff go to trial based on their rap lyrics. Like they will straight up read their song lyrics. And I mean, and for the most part, I mean, maybe at some point people were rapping about stuff that was actually happening, but I feel like a lot of these dudes now, especially, they're, again, just like he's doing this shtick of this, you know, Rush Limbaugh-ish character.
They're entertainers.
They're right. And so, you know,
most rappers don't even write their stuff.
I'm just saying, like, they're on the road touring and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily doing the stuff that they're talking about. But
now, I will say 8 Ball and MJG, I think they write their stuff.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's lots of them do. And I would venture to say that, like, again, this past generation, I think a lot of them were actually steeped in the life, and that's what they were talking about, their personal experiences. But I'm talking about currently now.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about, even with, I mean, point being, if we can say, okay, well, this person is rapping about this, and I can use these words against him to say, like, oh, well, he deserved what happened, or there should be consequences to the kind of things you say. Why aren't there consequences for this kind of stuff?
Right. Because
I would argue that it's worse because you have this. I mean, well,
you have
no, all of it's terrible.
You have
but
an amplified platform.
You have an amplified.
And you've got a lot of money behind you, and you're espousing.
Well, and you're not saying that this is entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of know, but you're saying it like this is a fact. I mean, I think
you always talk about like you're a First Amendment, like you're a free speech hero, and you're just being rational and logical and all this kind of stuff.
I don't know what you guys' panties are all bunched up for. It's like, dude, you were out here really going in.
8 Ball and MJG because this whole thing it reminded me of a song.
Oh God, are you about to rap?
Just a little. It's a little ditty called "Stop Playing Games." Sing along if you know the words.
Oh my God.
You in the dirt now. Can't make a sound now. You wanna climb. Sorry. You in the dirt now. You underground now. Can't make a sound now. You wanna clown now? Stop playing games, ho. Think about that money you making. You playing games, ho. Ain't about no talking, no faking. But that was a really, here's the thing.
These were lessons.
Even though 8 Ball and MJG and P. Diddy was also on that song, not great role models all the way around, but that song had a lot of really good advice about,
right. I mean, you
might get your car shot up, might get your dope kicked, might get you kidnapped, might get your neck snapped. Don't get your feelings hurt thinking this is just a rap. Like in real life, because those songs were always about suckers who came around real gangsters.
You're out here saying this shit like there's no consequences. And when the consequences you get dead,
and you're like, everybody be cool. No,
it's like, no, they weren't ever playing.
Because I could never.
Oh my God.
My whole thing is like the way this whole America is set up, I could never talk as recklessly as Charlie Kirk and expect not to get popped.
No,
honestly.
absolutely not.
In any of the kind of the ways you can get popped. So this idea that you should be able to cause all kind of you run your mouth recklessly and do all this stuff, and there should be nothing. You do that, Charlie. There are Tylers out here who take this shit seriously.
Who don't like it.
They don't like it. And that's why, listen, we talk a lot of mess on the show, but I always joke about like starting a beef with another podcast.
Yeah. I'm
not going to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going
It's
to. Look
fun
at
to
my,
talk about.
who am I going to fight?
Not showing them your frail wrists.
I'm like Mr. Burns.
It's like, I can't.
Like,
well, what took me out also too is just like the conversation around it is really weird, right? So at top of the show, I kind of talked about the way that things are being covered. So like you even have the Utah governor going on TV talking about, I was really hoping that I was praying that it wasn't one of our own. Like because it was a white man from Utah And he was just
it
like,
would kind of have to be.
He said, I was hoping it was somebody from out of state. I was hoping it was like somebody from somewhere else, because that is exactly the story that they tell themselves. They are not honest about who is out here actually doing this kind of shit. You want it to be somebody else so bad. You want us to be the boogeyman so motherfucking bad. And what about white on white crime at this point? Are we now having that conversation?
Actually, Moni, I would actually like you to say that again a little slower.
What about white on white crime?
You said it fast. Say it slow.
What about white on white? Slow it down.
Yeah,
you
slow
doing
it down.
the editing? No.
What about white on white crime?
Now listen slow. There's probably a rap song about that.
You guys have that top dog law. You're gonna have you sounding like that.
It's insane to me that the expectation for violence is always black people, but lo and behold, and time again, these kinds of things, especially when it's like some sharpshooter shit. Not to say that there was that one guy in DC. I'll give you that. But when you
But that
talk
was
about
about his
your
ex-wife and
stats
stuff.
and all of this kind of stuff, there's a certain demographic of people who get disgruntled to the point where this is the answer for them most of the time. And I just think it's an interesting narrative that you have the governor saying like, gosh, and it was though. So what now?
Right.
What say you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's
Right.
your commentary around this? Are you?
Oh,
When
because
are we gonna be
did we
honest
ever hear
about it?
anything about the dude who shot at Trump? Did we just stop talking? I guess we don't care no more. Same thing like with the Epstein files. Because here's my other thing. This
Give
is my
me a
completely
break.
unsubstantiated.
No, we're not going to Epstein yet. We're going to transition into the other shooting that they skipped over first, and then we can talk about Epstein.
All right.
Because I'm pissed that we didn't hear. Did you hear about the school shooting on the same day as the? Okay, I didn't
Once
hear about
again,
it.
just my daughter.
Okay,
She's
tapped in.
Well, because I'm driving and she's on her phone, so she's basically
Getting all the news
Yeah,
right
she's
to her.
letting me know. And thank you, honey. You please continue to do that.
Oh my gosh. Oh wait, so wait a minute. Did you see the picture of the guy who
Yeah,
shot
Tyler.
him? This is just 22 years old.
That's why I don't go out here provoking people, because I know there's Tylers and Luigi's out here for real, for real.
Well, and it's like he's a conservative Christian guy. His dad was a cop. Like he's, you know what I mean? They're never who you think they're gonna be anyway. Y'all want it to be right, like you said, some Hispanic guy or something.
Once again,
some
he
black
would have
man.
been
It's like, come on,
detained
man.
at the.
Well, the Supreme Court said it's lawful for you to stop people now based on race, which all of this shit kind of exploded on the fact of like, oh, reverse racism, using the actual laws that were put into place in 1965 for anti-segregation laws, all this kind of stuff, affirmative action. They're like, oh yeah, the law of the land says that you can't discriminate on race, so you can't use race as a point of admissions into college or special whatever, like scholarships, all this kind of stuff, funding. But we can stop people for how they look and sound. You think I have a low-paying job, so I might be. It's insane, and I just feel like it makes me feel like y'all can't be in the same reality that we're in. But let me give you guys, I don't know if you didn't hear about the school shooting. So it was Evergreen High School. That happened on the same day. This was in Colorado. There was 2 students injured. And then I guess the guy who did it, he was 16. He shot himself, which was crazy. And you just didn't get that same.
Was he a trans darky?
He sure wasn't. They said he was radicalized by an extremist network. And that was according to Colorado News. And then prior to the incident, social media accounts featured content related to white supremacy. Wow, big surprise there. Anti-Semitism and a fascination with mass shootings. He posted videos depicting Nazi imagery and shared a photo of a revolver and ammunition about an hour before the shooting. So
It's almost like the Nazis are the bad guys.
and it's like, what is this fashion? They're like they weren't inspired by us. This has come up a bunch on the show. You've pointed this out many a time. And I forget what the law was. It has something to do with eugenics that they kept referencing in terms of like when the Nazis was coming up with their whole ideology and stuff like that. They were obsessed. They thought we were just the cat's pajamas of racism.
Oh, right. This was in cast because they wanted to know how to. It's like, hey, you guys are running a really
guys
tight
are doing
apartheid
great
over
over here.
there.
What's
How could
going
we do that?
on?
Could you come
Yeah.
over to Germany and show us how to set up ghettos? And I'm like,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm picturing one of those black and white videos that you see, and it's like that little video, of how to do
Like,
that.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
this is how
it's
you
like,
set up a
it's like
racist
Goebbels.
system.
And once again, really, another thing that the Nazis were really good at, besides fashion, was media. They were very,
there you
very
go.
good at making propaganda films and getting all that stuff out there. And I think sort of the anti-science, anti-intellectualism, I think that's tied to white supremacy.
It is.
Because
I love the
science,
undereducated. Love them.
science debunks white supremacy. Yeah, or even the concept of whiteness. Like, it doesn't have a basis. Race doesn't have a basis in science. And I think that's why there's a general hostility towards science, because it didn't bear out the way they wanted to. Like, it's like, ooh, we got DNA tests now. We can really it wasn't supposed to free niggas.
No, it sure wasn't. They hated that, boy. That was
I
a
love when
terrible
Paul
sound
Mooney
effect.
brought that up. He was like, whoever invented DNA, oh, they kill him.
Oh my gosh. He was always so, I mean, he did. I bet you right now, if we just ran. Matter of fact, we need to watch some Paul Mooney stuff.
I
That'd
agree.
be a good Patreon episode.
I would like
I don't
that
think the
a
regular
lot.
people can handle that, but
Oh,
that would be
no,
great.
no. Oh, yeah. But
Like,
he
do
was,
have a couple margaritas and really watch some Paul Mooney and
oh,
just
I
go
wish
in.
I could bring him back to life.
Oh my God.
He'd just be like, oh, nothing changed. Could you please
Right,
kill me?
please take me back, okay?
Like, this is terrible.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
as he said, nothing has changed but the weather. But actually, things have gotten worse
Things have gotten worse. So real quick,
in some ways.
I want to go over some quotes, man. Just real quick, because we want to pivot into the Epstein
Well,
files.
and not exactly the Epstein files. It's just a real quick
Go ahead,
conspiracy
do your
theory.
thing. Do it.
Because it's, to me, not out of the realm of possibility that Trump ordered this hit to distract from the Epstein files. Because it doesn't look good. Like, this was your bestie. Like, you were clearly, and I feel like it doesn't get brought up enough. Trump's first wife accused him of crepe. Like, that's the thing. Like, this dude from jump, like, this is his MO. And it is very, like I said before when I was like, did I say this about racism? Like, y'all don't hate racism enough. Y'all also don't hate crepe enough, in my opinion.
I love it.
Like, that should be disqualifying, especially multiple times. I mean, one time, okay, oopsie.
What?
But, I mean,
one time's too many, friends.
I'm just trying to be, I mean,
you
people
just
keep
didn't
telling us we
know.
have to compromise. We have to meet people where they're at. Like, we can't just have all these, we can't be naggy.
Not
we
all
can't
these hard
be
and fast rules
unpleasant.
about sexual assault being terrible. It's like, now, well, if he was
Well,
only...
it's the same thing, too, about how we're supposed to. I feel like we are given so much advice about how we are supposed to handle male chauvinists and racists, where I kind of feel like meeting them with the same amount of respect as they're meeting me with.
Oh, they don't like that.
And all of a sudden, now it's a problem.
But all of a sudden. Right, because it's directed toward them, so then that's the actual problem.
Yeah, so it's this, and that's what I think with this whole, I don't even really like saying his name all that much, but y'all know what we're talking about. Like, this whole thing about it's this aberration, it's this reversal of how things are supposed to go. That's supposed to be
Who said?
like dark people, poor people getting shot.
Yeah, because you're so used to it, and
yeah.
at some point they deserve it, or it's the cost you have to pay to be the fancy white man that you are. It's like, well, of course they have to die for us to be safe. You see all my gold bars.
So I've talked about this on the show before too, where I feel like it's tied to maybe this evolved sense of like need for human sacrifice.
Ugh.
Like, even when you look back on the like lynchings and stuff like that, and just the fact that it's ritualistic. And
He wanted to see people shot on TV and
that's
stuff.
what I'm
so that's
saying.
crazy.
Like, there's this like bloodthirstiness that
It's gross.
even like in so many cultures, like this idea of like you have to have animal sacrifice because the gods need blood.
Yeah.
You know, this I mean,
So you're saying Charlie Kirk, well, and then he felt like, yeah, there has to be blood sacrifices for us to be able to
have the second
have our
one.
guns. And so honestly, you have actually fulfilled your purpose, because you felt so strongly about it that at every turn, this was something that you kept bringing up. You never shut up about it. This is, you're known, like we can pull up numerous quotes.
Yeah, oh, and
about
they
you
have
talking
been.
about this. And I'm not even on Twitter. I would imagine Twitter there's so many receipts. I can't even handle how official I'm sure the internet is handling a lot of this right now. Because I did see a couple of responses that I'm like, if somebody were to ask me, I would just play their response because it's the way that they're executing it and laying it out is so apt and so perfect and concise that it's like, I don't even need to say it because they're already saying it. I saw a clip of Donald Trump today or yesterday, and somebody was saying something to him about, how do you feel about the whole thing with Charlie Kirk? And he was like, oh, basically like, yeah, it was a terrible thing. He immediately transitions into pointing over to the side saying, oh yeah, they're doing some construction over here on the ballroom. Isn't that great? He said, we've been trying to get this done for 150 years. Yeah.
He don't give a fuck.
He just moved on. He didn't even pretend. He don't care.
Remember
when he's a sociopath.
when Herman Cain died of
my God,
COVID?
he don't care.
Y'all remember Herman Cain?
No, they don't remember. Wake up, America. No.
That was Trump's little black friend when they were doing that whole COVID ain't real stuff, and COVID took him right
that
on out.
irony. Like, that's the thing that's crazy. You don't want to wear a mask. You don't want to get vaccinated. Y'all are trying to roll all this stuff back, and you're not going to be happy until it's just like the robot being like, y'all want to die.
Yeah, apparently.
That's what y'all want.
And just like when Herman Cain died, I didn't feel bad for him either.
Well, and also, where was all this half-staff flag bullshit when were they from Minnesota? Senators, congresspeople, elected government officials. We're talking about actual political violence.
Well, they're Democrats. And the Democrats are sowing so much political division that, Trump couldn't possibly...
Didn't acknowledge them. There was no half-staff anything.
No.
In fact, was mocking them.
Remember that time when he tried to take over the government with his little tacky MAGA people? You do remember January 6th. I'm sorry, you guys. The fact that he was able to run, this is y'all's own doing. The fact that you don't stop these people, like you let that complexion for the protection stuff ride. Because if you had stopped this person when they were, just like with Dr. Klein, if they had locked him up when
Dr. Klein was a doctor who was impregnating women in Indiana. He was like a fertility specialist, and he was like, these women were trying to get pregnant, was having issues getting pregnant, and he was using his own sperm instead of their dad's.
The
and
donor.
So then, come to find out, he got all these white kids, and it was like this whole movement.
Yeah, it was a whole white supremacist thing. The queer
we need white babies. We need white babies. So just for context.
But the whole thing was he would never even got to that point if he had been locked up when he hit a child with his car when he was drunk.
Oh my
God! And
God,
killed that baby.
That's right.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like when people like me and you, and like the people we make, like when they make mistakes, there's some very quick.
And as much as obviously I hate everything that he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like publicly,
except for releasing the Epstein files. Yeah, I agreed with him on that.
There you go.
Like I said, like just because you wrong most of the time doesn't mean you always wrong.
This is very, very true.
I know how to find common ground.
And anyway, so I forgot what I was going to say, but let's go into the Epstein files since we're here. So what are your thoughts, friend? Are they going to release? That's
what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, this is suspicious timing. That's all I'm saying.
So I know the birthday book came out. And
once again, I had seen that before.
Had you?
I think it had been leaked because, I had seen the little swirly pubic hair signature and stuff like that, and him lying about how he don't draw and stuff like that. I feel like either Seth Meyers or I got news for you, like the New York girlies, like I feel like I'd already heard that story.
Really?
Yeah, like because stuff gets leaked, just like.
So where are we now?
I'm still in the 80s when he raped his wife. Like, to me, this dude...
I'm talking about Epstein files.
Oh, Epstein files?
Yeah.
I don't even need the Epstein files. I just need... at this point, the DOJ is under his control, so I'm not even sure. I'm more interested in hearing these stories from the lips of the women who were...
They said they got their own list.
Yeah, and that's who I am more concerned with hearing from, like directly from people who
aren't trying to cover it up.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
People who are trying to get it out. It's just real sad.
Because it used to be the Ku Klux Klan wouldn't stand for messing with white women.
Oh, they don't care.
And now
it's
they're just like,
y'all.
whatever.
They don't care. It's all
at least they had that. They at least had the decency to disband when like one of their main dudes like raped a woman all on public transport. So it's like, yeah. But now it's just kind of like, whatever.
Well, and also too, but except for when, like we don't like immigrants. Shut the borders down and blah, blah, blah. But then when you have that lady, I forget which Nordic country she was from on the subway, and there was that black man that assaulted her or did something. I don't know if she died. Do you hear about this? Donald Trump was speaking directly about this. Charlie Kirk was speaking directly about this. Nobody said anything about her immigration status, nor was ICE knocking down her door to take her anywhere. Now, what happened to her is terrible, but I'm just saying, though, let's keep the same energy across the board, but it illustrates the point that you're making.
To me, it's very clearly like the third act of the Trail of Tears. Like, that's all it is, because people like to act like all this stuff is over. It's not.
No, it's not.
This stuff is, I like that from, not rap, but quote a rap song.
Okay.
And Can't Trust This, Public Enemy. And as a hardcore Holocaust, I'm talking about the one still going on. Like, this stuff is, it's not over. Like, all of this stuff that's happening, that's why history is important. That's why I like this idea of like, history can be, if you live long enough, history can become a weapon. And you see this stuff happen over and over. I think about our grandmothers, like I said, your dedication was your big mom and stuff.
Yeah,
and think about like what they were living through. And like I said, no cameras. So all of this shit is happening. And people are just like, the police aren't doing that.
And then when they see the video, there's always an excuse. So it's just interesting that like,
well, but then there's you finally get the
for?
videos where it was like George Floyd. People like, I guess people don't think about that anymore. Where it was just like very clearly, it's like this was just an open lynching. Like this was
because now you feel like people are saying he was just doing his job. He was doing what he was trained up to do. But if you're being trained up to murder, it's still wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that
at some point, like, we have to just call this, like, this is wrong. Like, even if you're saying, like, well, this is how they're trained, the training sucks.
Yeah, the training.
If your training
bad.
ends with somebody
and
dead under your knees, that's crazy.
History matters because the police were started as a slave catching patrol.
Yeah, they did.
So you have to, I feel like, acknowledge that history, get past it. To me,
and it's like you said, it's just repeating, because like if the Supreme Court is giving the Trump administration the blessing to basically go about their business doing that, like that is slave catching. That's what they're doing. Because it was like, if you could stop anybody who looked like they might be a slave, all you had to do was be black. That's crazy. You
like,
could
let
be
me see your
free and
papers,
everything.
nigger.
Yeah,
And then you
these
can't
are
forge them
forged
because you can't read.
And even if they weren't forged, even if they were actual papers, you don't think that these corrupt individuals would be willing to destroy them, get rid of them?
Yeah, there's no
whatever?
honor amongst thieves.
No, it's
like
just
that's the whole thing about human trafficking. It's just bad all the way around.
So do you think that if the Epstein files are released and people's faves are on there, do you think it's gonna matter? Like, I think we can kind of all concur, like his ass is on there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously. So
yeah.
I don't
Once
think
again,
it's gonna change
everything
anything, though.
has. I don't think so either. Because
They
to
don't
me,
care?
there's already plenty of evidence that he's a creep and sexual violent menace.
Oh my God.
So I think for the people who follow him, this ain't gonna matter. They'll just be able to like, oh, this is just more, leftist lies trying to frame him. He's a good man. And
It's like, where though?
I'm like, where?
I mean, he was openly saying that because he owned the building that those pageants and stuff were held in, that, oh yeah, as the owner of the building, I could just walk into the dressing rooms. You would see like all these women, young women walking around. He said sometimes, they're changing, so they're in various, stages of undress. And I'm, I got to check things out. I mean, it's my building. And then, gorgeous women, just gorgeous women, and I could get away with things like that. What a creep. And that is crazy. And nobody has any, like, there's no, even just hearing him say, grab him by
the P word,
the ussy pay, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And we're just like, he could shoot somebody. There's so many things, and it's like none of it matters, because the God that a lot of people serve, they imagine him like Donald Trump, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to make it seem like this is some sort of religious, you want to tie him to Christianity, and this is like your divine right, and he's the savior of, I don't know what, of y'all. But it's like, this just shows the kind of God that you actually honor.
Is your God.
This is your God. That's how you're treating him, because you're acting like he's this, you're quoting him, and it's like, well, my president says I don't have to You know, I mean, it's like between a dictator and a deity.
Yeah,
at this point.
he's daddy.
And this is it's ridiculous because
It's interesting.
it's not Christian.
Because I'm curious. I think one thing that was always interesting about the Passion plays is, to me, it was like it would make me imagine like who would have been at the crucifixion.
Oof.
You know what I mean? Like
Who were you? Who did you picture yourself as?
Veronica, who ran out there and dabbed his head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or was it Monica? Was it Veronica or Monica?
This is sober editing cat. It was Veronica.
She comes and dabs his face.
And this face with print was on
the Shroud of Turin. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. But who knows, really?
Yeah, you don't
You know
know.
what I mean? I probably would have been having digestive troubles that day because the food wasn't,
refrigerated or something.
Yeah, like times were rough.
Ooh, no pads or nothing.
No. It's like, well, how would I exfoliate? But yeah, I don't know. But to me, it's interesting if you go back in time, because we, like I said, we're just repeating the same pattern. So you just have to think about who would this person would have been like 100 years ago or 200 years ago. Trump obviously would have been a slave owner. The Charlie Kirks of this world, obviously, because to them it's more important to have money. But that always makes it crazy to me that they claim Jesus so hard, because I feel like in real life Jesus would not like you. Like, I love Al Franken when he does this bit about supply side Jesus, who was like supposed to, when he pretends to like be this Jesus that Republicans can get with.
Like,
in real life, Jesus would not like you, like with your little money grubbing selves. Like, of all the things that you always talk about Christianity as if it was like this purity culture thing where Jesus was like, hey, are you guys rubbing genitals? I don't want. Jesus never talked about sex.
Not rubbing genitals.
Yeah, like Jesus was hanging out with like women who talked in public, AKA whores.
Wow.
So
same thing.
You know, like that was never it's sickening. Like, you wouldn't like the real life Jesus. You would think he was dirty and poor and a darky and a Jew.
All things you guys hate.
Except for the Israelis. He was real chummy with Netanyahu. They're just saying like the Israelis who are there right now settling Palestine, they're not from there. You know what I mean? I mean, Europe.
Everywhere.
Like, and once again, to me, it's always very curious that only white presenting Jewish people are what we see as Israelis, because once again, that's why it's so important to, my daughter we were talking about, she was just frustrated with how whitewashed Egyptian history is. She was like, these were clearly darkies.
Africans. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And so, and then just imagine 2,000 years ago. Like, they were darkies like in the 60s before, like I said, all this settlement kind of, you know, before we were able to, it's just.
In the same kind of whitewashed, you know, like Arab people in that region had a tendency to kind of carry out that same
eugenic
colonial
stuff.
mindset of like the lighter, the better, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you're trying to purge that from your bloodline. Like, we read that in the Cola Booth books, you know, that's why they had to get her black ass up out of there. They were like, absolutely not.
No.
Not you dirtying up our bloodline with your
not
negress.
coming to my house with mud on my heel.
Right, with your nilotic
it's this idea
roots.
that blackness is this pollutant.
Yeah.
And it's
And meanwhile, I'm just trying to figure out, historically speaking, you just don't. And I'm pressed to think about, like, I'm not saying like black people historically don't engage in violence, but the lengths in which Europeans colonized the world is just pretty epic. I mean, like like anywhere you go, the people
where they're
who
speaking
are there,
English
or any other language, French. I was just having this conversation with my kids about, because I think my son is learning Spanish and he had to do Latin, but he's like really enjoying learning Spanish. And then they were talking about like, oh yeah, French would be cool, and then my son was like, no, Spanish is better, and I'm like, French, I said a lot of, people that live in Africa speak French, though. I mean, because it was heavily colonized by the French and stuff like that. And then it devolved into a whole conversation about like why that is and how different places in the world, it's like, if you see brown people speaking the Queen's English and French, it's like, it's because somebody was over there telling them that they were terrible darkies and here's my religion. Throw on my outfits that I have.
Yeah,
and here's
cover them titties up,
please. And
you think that's where the
yourself.
violence is coming from?
There's no titties.
I think titties calm things down. Like the fact that
I've literally never considered that.
Only see titties in sort of like sexual connotations, whereas I feel like in a lot of the world, like nudity or toplessness wasn't a thing. And I even read a thing too about how breasts in like human beings was an evolved thing to keep males around, because most mammals their mammary things don't get going unless you're pregnant.
Right.
But with humans, we just have
It's
them.
like, you're gonna like these. Let's get those going. All right. Maybe.
But the fact that a lot of the societies they took over, they were just like, you're filthy.
Titties.
Yeah.
But also, let me see those when
But they were living for the most part pretty peacefully. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like they were constant. But there's always this idea of like somehow the flesh will just make men go crazy. But
maybe
I don't know.
Maybe if you saw it all the time, kind of like if you have a longtime partner and they're walking through the house naked, you're like pretty unmoved by it. You're
exactly.
Like,
this is just normal sauce.
Like
and the fact that it drives me so crazy that like TV movies, they won't let you show breastfeeding, but you can watch a bunch of murders. Like
that
to me,
is really messed up.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, like this idea of like, we can't let the kids see a titty. But it's like, you can watch this person.
Right.
Yeah, but you can watch somebody get their neck snap or throat cut or
Eyeballs
all this. Just pow,
out.
pow, pow, pow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too. I think we're desensitized a lot to violence.
We talk about this a lot. I've had this convo with my brother who lives in Japan, and specifically to the feeling safe factor being abroad sometimes, like say in Japan, for instance, because it's just like people can't have guns there.
Yeah.
And anytime, like, and there wasn't there a mass shooting this was a few years back, but it was like mind-blowing in Japan because it was kind of like,
it wasn't even a mass shooting. It was a precision assassination of the former,
the homemade gun.
Yeah, with the former prime minister, because he was mad about his mama being taken in by a cult that was infiltrating the government, and he wanted to call attention to it, and he made a gun, and I think made bullets. And I'm like, you earned that one, sir. I'm like,
cults are never a good idea to incorporate into our governments.
No, but and here's the other thing too. Once again, I don't like shootings. I don't like seeing people get killed. That shit worked. They backed off of that cult.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be an interesting thing to read about.
It really would, because there wasn't, once again, our media coverage, this was an assassination of it. That was huge.
They only cover what they want.
I saw like one little article about it, had to really dig to find that out. And it was like, because I was like, what? Because that's some dedication. Why on earth did he want to shoot that man? Because I'm just thinking he's crazy, but he,
how did we get here? I'm always like, how did
we get here? Because most human beings, they have an internal narrative going. So what was going on that got you there? And this idea that he was so upset about his mother being taken in, like she had lost everything. And I don't know if you know this about Japanese culture. Honor and respect are very important.
Yeah. That's
and he was willing to, like, here's the thing. I don't like getting into like fights for real because I'm not willing to die over a lot of stuff.
Girl, the way I'll pull off in traffic with somebody sticking up their middle finger yelling at me, I don't care. This is your problem. I don't follow me home. Don't pull up in my driveway.
I'm not.
But
what was it? Since we're rapping now, you about it? You about?
We're not rapping now, friend.
No, you know what I'm about? A nap.
Yep. And then speaking of
about
naps,
staff life.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, I love breaks.
Well, let's see. Look at that.
Easy.
Look at that. All right, y'all. We'll be right back. All right, guys. So welcome back from the break.
Man, this is hard stuff. But I appreciate that we have a platform to discuss it candidly and honestly, because I get it. Like, so you were asking me earlier, like, how does like my child feel about this?
Yeah.
And seeing that this is who I learned it's about, and she was just really distressed, you know, like in the hours afterwards, we're talking and all this stuff. And she was feeling really, really guilty because of how relieved she felt. And I was telling her that the fact that you're even feeling bad is a sign that you're being compassionate, because once again, she understands like this isn't a good thing that happened. But at the same time, this was a person who was actively working towards making her life worse. And putting her in a position where she's going to have fewer rights than I have and fewer reproductive freedoms than I have. And like I said, there was I think Isabel Wickerson had this on her, this is the author of Caste, and she had a thing about how many Black women lost their jobs as soon as, Trump, a lot of his policies came through, and how this sort of idea that, because I mean, I've seen it happen firsthand, and this idea that we saw it happen with the election. It's like we had a very competent Black woman candidate, and we're like, we'll take the dopey rapist, please. And it's like, I mean, I kind of lost a lot of faith in America because of the media images we've been fed, not based in reality at all. We just somehow assume that a white male will be more suited for any job than a Black female.
And that is so crazy.
It is. It's not based in science, rationality, nothing.
Nope. Built into the system.
But I also wanted to bring up the story I saw earlier about the European Parliament refuses to hold a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Oh, and yeah, people start sitting down.
Shame on.
Yeah.
Shame on you for requiring them to be silent.
Yeah. They're like, no.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
More of that. More of that. I mean, the moment of silence should be held by the people who loved him. That's who needs to be having the moment of silence.
And why would the European Union
that's what I'm trying to,
or the European
he's
Parliament?
Not some dignitary. He's not some. I mean, like, again, it's just lost on me why there's supposed to be all this fanfare for this mediocre white man who just was like on TV talking hella shit about everybody, and really again like died the way that he says he felt about.
Yeah, that was appropriate to die.
So. Right. So again, with your daughter saying that, I do feel I can understand why that's a hard thing to sit with. Because for one, we assume that our lives happen in black and white when it comes to certain things, especially when we start processing our feelings, and things they're more complex than that. I think you can hold, you can be compassionate and say like, dang, like somebody died, like that's messed up. And then you can also say, well, and also this person felt like the Second Amendment rights were more important than human life. And he actually was somebody who was he was the direct result of something that he believed very deeply, at least that he said that he did. Right.
Because I always had a suspicion that,
us.
Yeah, it's always funny that, like I said, he had a lot of money behind this stuff. So you always wonder with sort of the, these talking heads. Yeah, and you're willing to say whatever, and you think nothing's ever going. I don't think he thought this was a real threat.
That meat ain't greasy.
I also would hope that it would be a cautionary tale for people who think you can do this with no consequences.
Well, here's the thing,
because that's what I'm teaching my children. Like, you can't act this way and not expect consequences. So are we trying to teach one population that it's okay to act like this, and it's super sad when there's consequences, and then if I even say a peep to the police, I get my brains blown out?
He was terrible. And I mean, like, although I don't wish violence on him or anything, this is not like, I wasn't dreaming about somebody shooting this man. That was not mine. This is literally
what we've been fighting against
the whole time.
Like that he was fighting
It's bad
for,
for
we were
everybody.
fighting against. Like,
It's-
I hate it when people get shot.
And I'm sorry, because you didn't want me to read the quotes earlier, but I got to pop off some of these, though.
All right, let's
Because
go.
for some of y'all who don't know the kind of stuff that he was saying, like, I don't want to, I'm bad at quoting, so y'all have been here before, hold up. So I found The Guardian, so he has here goes some quotes that he had on race. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope they're qualified. And this was like a direct response to DEI stuff, like him saying that like DEI means that we have to lower standards, because if they're saying we need 40% more, black people, then how are they getting there? The assumption being, and the underlying thought being, like, in order for a black pilot to be qualified, we have to lower the standard. Fallacies, okay? It says, if you're a WNBA pot-smoking black lesbian, do you get to be treated better than a United States Marine? This was December 8th of 2022. I'm pretty sure he was referencing the tall basketball player that got apprehended for the weed. Brittany Griner. Yeah, Brittany Griner. She talking about that. Like, what are we even talking about? Like,
That's
nobody's
just
even
ugly.
saying that, right? Like, you should have just left her to rot in a jail. Since when did America, when they had any sort of option to bring their citizens back, did they not try to do that?
Yeah.
So that's weird. Well, no, I ain't gonna say that one. Let's see, because I'm not sure the context of that one. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or if she's there because of affirmative action. January 3rd, 2024. Don't know what poor woman he's describing or even talking about, but what the F, dude? You are a piece of shit. Then he says, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. You don't have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to be taken somewhat seriously. So that's basically.
Also like to remind people that, Kat does not believe in the concept of white people.
Yeah, we know you talking about that.
But it's just a fun reminder because, once again, it has no basis in science. It's just what we're calling whiteness is just a collection of recessive phenotypes that have no effect on intelligence
At all.
At all. The only thing it affects is how much SPF you need.
Which he needed probably bunches, but
Not so much anymore. But
it's just it's real sad. So those are just on race, but there's so many awful quotes, and so
yeah,
even knowing all of the shitty stuff that he said, I wouldn't have ever wished death on this man. But at the same time, there is that feeling of like,
someone
it's
who's
one
constantly
less
attacking
person.
you. It does feel nice to have one less person attacking me.
Yeah.
And
but my worry is, like what you were saying before about like telling people to calm down. I feel like perhaps they're talking to, I feel some kind of way about the 22-year-olds, the young kids who are seeing this, who idolize this man already, and how this puts a battery in their back. You know what I'm saying? Them the ones that I need. Y'all got, you know what I'm saying? Like these radicalized teens, I mean, they're the real. There are all kinds of threats, but that is a really big one. And we see it play out in every facet of our society right now. And so not addressing that, and like you say, punishing some groups for certain behaviors, but then others, we're not saying anything about it. We're not calling truth to power. I just really don't want to see a lot of copycat type shit or them going after, other government officials.
And
Here's
here's the other thing I want to address too, because after it happened, Trump was immediately like, oh, the radical left has gone too far, like immediately blaming it on like a Democrat or a leftist.
White Christian
and it's like,
man.
you didn't even have a suspect yet. Like, how are you just assuming it was somebody on the left? Like,
it's messy. Your words have implications too, though.
Exactly. So
You
in
gotta
this
be
whole
careful.
idea, and it's like, once again, it's like, that's not even how the left gets down. We like historically the left is like, we should have gun control.
And let's be clear. This isn't, and I hate when it's like this conversation is like this side and this, like that's where the problem lies, because no one's ever, at least I'm not ever saying that I feel like everybody who's considered liberal, like they are racist as hell too. Sometimes they hold
I'm
certain
just talking about gun
beliefs.
stuff.
Right, I know, but I'm just
like
saying
just there is like a difference though. Like they're not, this idea that they're the same is a fallacy. Like they're both
imperfect, and one is super, you can have as many guns as you want, and the other is we need to have gun control.
we need to try to do something.
And that's just a fact. So like to go after and been like the party who's like we need gun control, it's their fault. That is a very calculated political move to divert energy from the party that's like we should have as many guns as we want. We shouldn't. Like that's something that is a societal
this is what happens when
harm. This is what happens when it's like everybody who wants a gun and as many guns as they want, and as much ammo as they want. And the reaction is like, well, you're going to get some more guns, more deaths.
And
what
that's
you
how
gonna
it
do?
acts.
And
That's
then
how they
shrugs. And it's like, yeah. So whenever people come to you with the whole like, oh, it's all exactly the same. No, it's not. One side wants you to be able to have gynecological care. One doesn't.
And don't let them divert you
Equivocate.
from that.
Yeah,
those
like
things
equivocate.
are not the same
Yeah,
things
like
at all.
that's very much a conservative plot to make it seem like it's the same thing. But this was funny because you said you want to leave on something light. Okay. So this was before the shooting. There was a Jezebel article. For people who know, Jezebel is like an online magazine, feminist magazine. And there's an article titled, "We Paid Some Etsy Witches to Curse Charlie Kirk." And that was published on Monday.
Oh, God.
And they were like, look, they had to release a statement saying like, look, we did this before. We didn't know this was going to happen, but maybe witches are real now.
Oh, my God. Don't let them say that.
I might just want to know which Etsy store that
my
was. I'm like, wow, that was a
goodness.
pretty quick turnaround too.
Oh, my God.
So yeah,
You'll
that
have to
was.
send me that so I
I
can add
will.
that to the notes. That's crazy.
It is. I mean, I don't think it's funny he got shot.
It's kind of like racism's not funny at all, but
No.
jokes about racism.
Yeah, or
funny.
like
Maybe it's too
slavery and
soon, I
stuff.
don't know.
Like, yeah, maybe. Well,
we're not
once
really
again,
making
it depends on like. Not every joke is for every audience. So my whole thing is like in the confines of my own house, like.
Yeah, I don't have to sit and do no visual for this man. I feel like I'm gonna let the people who loved him do that, because at the end of the day, it seems like there's one less person spewing hate into the universe, and that's, doesn't seem like a bad thing.
Not to me.
Overall. So yeah, I definitely have to say that. Yeah, so guys.
Oh, this was the thing it reminded me of too, because I don't know if you remember, this was probably like maybe over a year ago, when I dedicated the episode to the surgeon who killed George Pell. And you might not remember George Pell. He was one of the horrible people in the Vatican who helped to cover up all the sex abuse and was a sex abuser himself of young people. And he died during heart surgery, like in Australia. And there was this song on a podcast I listened to where she wrote a whole song dedicated to the surgeon who accidentally killed George Pell. And she was like, you might have think you messed up, but you actually did quite well. I said thank you to the surgeon who accidentally killed George Pell. Yeah, it was beautiful. And I rejoice but he was like in his 80s and stuff. He lived a long, miserable life as we're towards the end of the episode, a fucking child rapist. And so yeah, when child rapists die, I do a little jig.
Right, like if I don't have to be sad about, you can't tell me to be sad about that.
No.
I mean, and y'all be sad about stuff it's like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Gotta hear with
So,
that.
and that was the thing. This guy wasn't a hero asking for moments
wasn't
of
my
silence.
hero.
Don't ask me for a moment of silence.
I'll do what I want.
Yeah. It's like I'm a goddamn American.
And ooh, what a fabulous way to end this, friend. Let's spin the wheel and see what we're talking about next week. Spin it.
All right.
Okay.
And more white on white violence.
Hate to see it.
When will they learn?
When will they learn? It's disgusting.
Someone should talk to them.
Oh my God.
We will be watching Unknown Number, a high school catfish Netflix original documentary.
Oh my.
So we already talked about it a little and kind of
That
spoiled
doesn't
it,
count.
but it's something. It is very different when you watch it with your own two eyes
Yeah.
and see that stuff unfold.
And I damn near forgot what you told me about it, low key.
I love
Let's
that
hear
about
for
you.
let's hear for I don't know what's going on. So that's awesome. It'll be like the first time. I do remember the little couple or whatever. But anyway, gonna get into that next week, guys. Please come back and join us for that fun conversation.
And let us know your thoughts.
Always. We're
And
always
your
looking.
body belongs to you.
Amen.
No matter what Charlie Kirk was talking about.
Exactly. I want to read some more quotes. Matter of fact, I want a whole episode reading this. Actually, y'all can just go to Twitter and see his quotes. Y'all can go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna leave this Guardian
Actually,
episode.
don't even do that to yourself. He was just trust.
If you're
us.
feeling bad, is what I'm saying. If you need a reason to be like, or to, if you don't understand, it could give you some context. I'm just saying. I'm gonna leave the Guardian episode in there. I mean, not episode, but the article, because it breaks it down to all the stuff. But anyway, you guys do the things you love. Gosh, you see life is short. It could end at any moment, apparently. So we just got to make sure we take in all the love, spend all the time with those that we feel connected to, and we'll see you next week, guys. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezene M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.